Very. To be honest, it's one of our key targets that we have had for quite some time. It was we had, let's say, seen the experience of other championships, which was quite challenging, but we're now excited that this opportunity has come, and it's a huge market for the motorcycle industry, and also for MotoGP as a sport, as a property, with a huge potential to grow the fan base of the sport over there, which is already strong. So very excited to with our manufacturers in the past, when we speak about long-term strategy and important markets to go to. The States was one that unfortunately we weren't able to race at for quite some time. I think it was from 95 or 96 all the way to 2005 when we came back to Laguna Seca. That was something that they were requested for quite a while, and we made possible. After that, places in Southeast Asia, especially Indonesia, was huge two-wheeler market. One especially important for our manufacturers are like Honda, Yamaha, Suzuki, also KTM, and India was the one that was coming up a lot in these conversations in the past 5 to 10 years. As soon as the call came that they were interested in having MotoGP, we put all our effort into it. I think it's India versus China. India is more, let's say, consumes more of our products, both as MotoGP, the championship, but also the manufacturers sell, our manufacturers, the ones that are competing in MotoGP, sell more. For it's a bigger, more important market for them strategically. So it's definitely a win-win. So the way that we usually work with MotoGP, when we come to a new country, new circuit, we sign an MOU, which is what we've already done, and that lays out a number of targets, which of course it's really, let's say, it's normal that this is a process because the promoter, the circuit, whatever, has to have a commitment on Dorna side, that if they do all this, we will come to the country to race. That includes, of course, uh, the circuit itself, which already exists in this case, but many times it doesn't. So they have to, present a master plan, whatever. So now that it's an existing circuit which has to undergo some upgrades for MotoGP, as well as with typical maintenance, etc., things that they have to do at the track, and also agree on all the commercial aspects, on logistics and all of this things. There's a time frame for that, which is outlined in the MOU, which has been signed, and from what we understand, we shouldn't have any problems to be racing in India in the future. So happy with that. Yes, definitely. We were there for a media event which was called out to basically a couple of days before, and the the outcome was great. We had the people representing all the motorcycle industry, as well as media and broadcasting. It was head of it was in the headlines of the I think it is the Times over there in India. So huge visibility and exposure to the championship, and great interest in the sport itself. um Everybody was asking for pictures, and there weren't even any riders there. So as soon as any rider makes an appearance there, I kind of feel sorry for 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 all the pictures that they're gonna have to do with the fans, but I'm sure they're excited also. Definitely, and it's not that I hope for it. I know, I think, we firmly think that's going to be the trend. um you know it's been quite the effort and quite the strategy to get the sport to the position that it is in now. I think that a lot of sports would like to have such a competitive grid in terms of machinery and in terms of riders. We look at the qualifying sessions every Saturday, and we have basically the whole grid in 1 second, which is makes us very proud. This year, it's especially closely contended, the championship. Just yesterday the racing was quite surprising in terms of the outcome, and how the championship's looking after Japan, which I think was unexpected for a lot of for a lot of us. But it's still very 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 open, with 100 points in play. So I think that you know no, none of them can be ruled out yet. I think that on the championship side, MotoGP is something which is probably a better fit for the Indian market, in terms of how the mar- all the population, the bigger part of the population can relate to itself, and see the motorbike as something which is aspirational to them. So that as first stop, I think that it works on our favor. Not to say that the Formula One is an hugely an amazing championship, but I think in terms of let's say for example things like general admission and things like that for the circuit, that's a good point. On the other side, in terms of the organization itself, it's the promoter that for what we've heard that the problems were when the F1 made their appearance in India was things that our promoter, the local promoter, has to sort out, because they are the ones that organize the event, and bringing all the stuff there to India, etc. So I'm sure that they have the ways, and we have their assurance that they have solutions for the problems that were there. So that's all I can say, to be honest. Yeah, I follow F1 really really closely because I'm a fan, and also because it's, I think, part of my job description to follow the other motorsports closely. Um, I last year was a huge influx, I think, for Formula One, with a battle, um, which was lasted all the way to the last race, and was very controversial, let's say. Um, we're very close to Stefano and to the management of the F1, and we wish them always all the best, because of course, let's say, it could be our competition, but I think that we both benefit from the success of each other, and consolidate motorsport, as the two major motorsports that there are on the planet, which are let's say truly global. The season so far, I think, it's been quite a change from the first events, where it looked like Ferrari is going to be much stronger than what it was at the end. But they've had a very successful season, I'm sure, and they've done great after their latest announcement. So congratulations to them. Well, yeah, for sure. It's they've done everything correctly in that sense, let's say, and when you come to things which are, let's say, a bit out of um, control as a rights holder, which is an incredible success of a docu series, where it's not scientific that success, it's not granted, let's say. So um, huge congratulations to to them on that side, because it's clearly had a phenomenal impact, especially in the Saxon markets like the US and the States, where the interest has grown exponentially. I don't know if that we would definitely love to have that that success, but I don't know if our, let's say, if uh, MotoGP's Drive to Survive would also be the same format, or something else is going to have that effect on our championship. Let's say, um, I think that we have things that Formula One would love to have, as we touched on before, with a huge competition on the racing itself, which is, let's say, it does not need for any external factors, to making the racing competitive. Um, and then they have a huge power of the automotive industry, which is not the same on our side. But there are two different products. um, we can learn from them, and I guess and, with a bit of being humble, that there's probably a couple of things that they can learn from us. But Formula One's a bigger business right now than MotoGP is. They've in these past couple of years, they've been able to make access mainstream fans in a more global scale. And I think that some of the steps that we're taking um, are going to allow us to do that. With a new format for next year, which we're very happy about. And then time will tell. Both definitely. We have already been saying for some years that the trend seems to be that the calendar will grow overseas, out of Europe. And races, probably the number of GPs in Spain will be reduced, and in Europe in general. Um, this also allows us to grow the calendar, let's say in the season itself, because you can only race in Europe in a number of months a season, especially the northern event. And um, it's part of being a global sport, which we're very proud about, because as I said, there's only a handful of sports which are truly global, with a huge fan base all around the world. And we're proud to be one of them. So you know India is a no-brainer for us, because of the number of fans that are there, and because it's important for our industry, and our manufacturers, and because it's part of growing the sport globally. So there's clearly also a business orientation, because we think that there is a big interest for the sport itself, from fans, but also from potential sponsors. Also the government itself is hugely supportive to the project. So everything together, I think is going to bring success.